banished from school. The text, the work is to be done not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. Zechariah 4:6. If we keep our mind stayed on Christ, he will come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain unto the earth. Hosea 6:3. As the Son of Righteousness, he will arise upon us with healing in his wings. Malachi 4:2. This was borne out in our experience in a little village in the Philippines. A little boy around 7.5 came to the clinic and waited for a long time to be seen. He had a very high fever, and when he sat down in the chair, flies were buzzing all around him. His odor was terrible. He had his right arm bandaged up with a dressing that was soaked with horrible smelling serum. As I opened the bandage, my stomach turned. I saw a most horrible open tumor, with every part of it weeping. It was very lumpy, and his forehead was very hot, his eyes were dull, and his cheeks were swollen, and all the lymph nodes surrounding were enlarged. I prayed to God. I felt so inadequate. I had no labs. Here I am out under a tree. My only source of water in my clinic was my drinking water. It was sterile. It was bottled water. So I had dressings, and I had some charcoal to take away the odor. But in my mind, I was praying to God, help this poor child. He had been kicked out of school and sent home to die. His tumor had begun at the age of 4 months and just kept growing. The doctors told her she had to allow them to do surgery on his arm. She refused. She was just sure that that would end his life, and she refused. She took him home. Well, the school could not permit the horrible odor. The public school prevented her from coming back. And so the child was at home, rotting away, with the sad look of longing in his eye, wanting to live. She brought him to clinic. What could I do? What did I have for this family? I didn't have any money to send him for surgery in Manila. Oh, I prayed to God, what can I do? I have so little to work with. I thought the best thing I could do would just take care of the odor so people weren't so angry at him for being around. And I invited them to come to meetings. Perhaps he could give his heart to the Lord before he died. I urged the mother to do all she could to get the surgery done. It looked like cancer. I prayed for them. What more could I do? Well, as they came every night to meetings, the hope began to come in their hearts. Every morning I would wash his wounds. I would put charcoal, all the activated charcoal powder that I could plaster on it, and wrap it up, smile, hug, and give them my wishes and pray for them. Every day that I was in this little village for 7 days, he received this treatment. The last day I made a call for all who wanted to be baptized. The mother and this little boy came running forward. They had to be baptized. The pastor said to me, "Oh, but this little boy's only 7. Immediately Jenny stepped forward. She said, "I was baptized when I was 7. And I said, "Pastor, this child may not live another year. And if his heart is set to be baptized, what wrong, what harm do you see in that? Why not grant his poor little wish and allow him the joy of having that peace in his heart that he has given everything to Jesus?" And the mother wanted to be baptized with him. A couple weeks later, there at the ocean edge, The mother, with her shy little smile, having been rejected by society and her son rejected, was standing there shyly waiting for her turn to be baptized. First she was taken into the water, and she was so pleased and so proud, and she held her little boy. He was afraid, but he wanted, oh how he wanted to be baptized. Finally it was his turn, and the pastor took him into the waters, and he was baptized. Oh, the radiance and the joy on that little face. It was like an angel. The mother dried his bandages, changed them, and put on new charcoal after the baptism. Her face was radiant, for she had just committed herself to God. And her other children clung to her. Our God accepts the willing heart. And he says that a child at the age of 8 to 10 is capable of making that decision forever. But this little one, we made the exception for him, for it looked like his life would soon end. Months later, after I was in Africa, I received an email from another person in the village who said that this large tumor had reduced in size to almost nothing, and it was hardly noticeable anymore, and they were attending church regularly, and the family was extremely happy in the Lord. Again, I thought of the verse, it wasn't by might. My doctoring skills did nothing for that family. Nothing. I couldn't do any surgery for them. The tumor was enormous. It was greater than the size of a softball. And I couldn't do anything for them, but give them courage and hope in the Lord and pray for them, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord of hosts.